Well, hello, thieves, and welcome to this here fantastic Friday where we sit around, we swing some swords. I'm muted. I'm only muted for you guys. The important people heard everything I said as I was just muted in Zoom. So as we go in here, swords and sorcery, tales of high adventure, here in an age undreamed of. First, before we begin, I have a few announcements, but we're going to swing around and introduce you to this adventure's Thieves, as it is different from last adventure's Thieves. But if you're joining us for the first time, you need not know any of that. Kiana, thank you for the subscription. Come through here, and as we dance a little bit with Zach Braff and Donald Faison, I'm going to go around, talk to everybody, and let's go to Cap. Cap, welcome back, brother. How are you doing today?
Thank you very much. In a good mood, because I just recently moved house, and now I've got decent internet, so I am pumped up and I am ready to play.
Absolutely, and who will you be playing today as we reacquaint ourselves with your thief?
Yes, today I will be reprising Old Man Artigan. Now 53, Artigan is a former mercenary and swordsman, and yeah, he's for those of you who don't know, not the sharpest tool in the shed. However, good.
Okay, hold on a second, brother. As it says, you should be. Streamlabs is telling me that it hears everybody, but they're telling me that they can't hear you, which is awesome, considering how it's still telling me that they should be able to hear you. Background people, say something for background people. Cast, say something for me so we can see if you are back online with them.
Hello.
Check. Yo, sup?
I got a really nice bottle of juice.
Okay,
Came through.
I'm on the hot stuff, man. Full sugar.
let's wait. Can you guys hear anybody else but me and the background music as we are... Oh boy, lovely, lovely.
Now
You guys are now heard. Okay, I literally did nothing. We can hear, but the music is still loud. Okay, the music will be coming down as the music is saying that it's not loud. So bear with us today, everybody, as there was both a Windows and a Streamlabs update. So thank you very much, everybody, for hey, it's a staple here on Grimjack 2 on 502, where I'm trying to work the curtain and do everything else, and it's always going to be like this. So I thank you for coming back. Okay, Cap, go ahead and say your stuff again. Who are you? Who are you playing? And then we'll jump around to everyone else.
Production rocks. Hello, everyone. I am playing, once again, I'm playing Old Man Artigan, former merc, master swordsman, now 53 years old. Old man, long white hair, long white beard. Get to wear my heavy armor today. Fantastic. And general gist of him is he is not looking to burn out, but what vigor he has left, he's looking to enjoy. So the old man is back once again to kick some ass.
Fantastic. I like that. When you've got a little vigor left, by God, make it count. And that's a t-shirt and a bumper sticker all rolled into one. Thanks for being back, Cap, as we drop straight down to a constant on the channel. Lauren, how are you doing today? And who will you be playing?
Oh, I'm doing great, Greg. Thanks for asking. Hi, Lauren. Oh, that's Salty Ginger over on Twitter. Today I am playing Cinna Classic Archer Girl Smorgasbord of Violence, which is my new favorite thing ever. Yeah, super excited to be back with Cap and Arik, and here we go. I'm excited. Do it.
Excellent. And then we will jump right across to another mainstay on the channel, Steve. Steve, how are you doing today, brother? And who will you be playing again?
Hey, buddy. Glad to be back. Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to this. I play Pal Terlato. He is a nice guy. He's ready to help out everybody and do good things.
Right. He's a saint among men. And then as we jump to an equal member in high standing of the high society, charismatic, fun-loving bunch, we go to a returning champion. Slack, how are you doing? And who are you going to be playing today?
Hi everybody, I'm Slack, and I'm so stoked to be back on the Conan RPG stream. It's been a little while. I'm really excited to be here because I'm playing the mighty Schwa! Schwa is 4 feet tall and swarthy. He carries a spear and doesn't wear a shirt most of the time, bone necklace, and really charms both the ladies and the gentlemen. Lots of personality rolled up into that small stature. So, excited to be here.
Fantastic, brother. The schwa is back. In case anybody realized that there was something missing in their lives, it was, of course, your healthy dosage of schwa. And when we jump up to our final thief, Jim, how are you doing today? And who will you be playing?
I'm doing great. Super glad to be here because the more I play of this game, the more I'm just like craving more of it and needing to sink my teeth into it. I'm going to be playing Arik, a Hyrcanian nomad who wanders these lands looking for adventure and wondrous tales and to satisfy his bottomless curiosity for new things and new experiences. He finds himself in strange company today.
Absolutely love it. He has wandered but not found. Will that change for Arik today? We'll see, everybody. But first, a couple of... I felt that today would be a benevolent day for your lovely GM. So here's how things are going to work. Currently, we have just received a donation for a new momentum. So, crew, before you've even started, you have 1 momentum in the pool. Also, if we get 5 followers at any point during today's sessions, even after Conan goes off of air, there will be a round of momentum given to both this cast and the Firefly cast. So, what that means is at 5 followers, this momentum pool gets completely filled. Also, if we get 2 subscribers, this momentum pool gets completely filled. Kiana has already made us halfway there. Thank you, Kiana. So in addition to all of that, you can look down below if you would like to affect the game in any other different ways. But we are going to get into this one as we are nearing the midway point of the story of these thieves and all the incarnations of them. So once we get through here, we are going to be on the downward slope of this story. But first, we have what may very well be the summit. So, as we drill back into the age undreamed of, and as we look around, we see several things, as this is a tale not of Conan, but certainly about his teachers and how they affect his life, and what their teachings do to direct the course of action in the future of his events. Conan is now almost 14 years old. For those of you keeping track, it's about 9 months after the events of As Told by the Sea, the last adventure we saw with our thieves. That adventure saw 2 of the thieves fall, and that affected Conan greatly. But as we are right now, we are not where we've been, not by the sea, not in the far east. We are in the north, in a land that has been annexed by the Aquilonian kingdom of Aquilonia. And we have Gunderland, which is it's very far north. It's cold. It's desolate in the late fall and winter. It is vibrant in the spring and summer. But right now, as we are entering into that autumnal season, the cool in the air is accompanied by something else. As these thieves were currently in the local town, drowning their sorrows and their joys in their beverage of choice, they have been summoned to Baron Sintel Fell's keep. They are being escorted there by his guards. It is a request, not a command, and we are traveling into the keep. Is everyone okay with this? As player agency, as always, is first and foremost here in Conan Age Undreamed of.
Are we bound?
Not at all. You have been asked to, the Baron has requested your presence. He has need of you. The guards have come. None of them have drawn weapons. None of them have commanded you. It is a delivered request by these, men at arms as they have come to kind of pull you out of the bars.
It sounds fine to me. On the way there, though, I am going over my most recent teachings with Conan. I assume he has his notepad out.
He does. The first few chapters of it seem to do more with what he has been taught before about the brothel society throughout the land.
Very, very much detail over these 9 months to cheer him up. My most recent lesson, though, is to always spit at people who have you tied up and are monologuing unless they seem like they would be into it. Then don't do it. That's the most recent lesson.
Spit unless they like it. Okay.
Unless they like it. You're getting it. You're learning so much. I'm such a good teacher. She would be so proud of me.
I'm just shaking my head at you.
Is this request from your master carry with it reward?
He begged us to bring you to him. He says that it's a monetary compensation.
With
our last endeavor, Cinna. Perhaps we should take young Conan on a new adventure.
Sure, I think he could always learn something. He's very good with his notes, and this seems like it would be different for us. Something maybe a little more, highbrow, fancy, whatever.
Boy, once the guards will be guarding us, you see? Sounds good.
Does Pal know if he's rich? This baron they're going to into the keep?
Without a roll, Pal would know that anybody that calls himself a baron is either rich or not a baron very long.
Okay. I will accompany you.
So as you enter into the keep, you are whisked into the main audience chamber, and as soon as you come in, there is not an old man, but the way he sits makes him look more aged than what he is, as he is slumped completely over. His long hair, more black than gray, is kind of over his face. The circlet that he would wear that represents his barony is sort of askew on the top of his head. And a man that, if anybody has had any relationships or any experience with courts, would know that this man probably represents the voice of the Baron, the one that announces, the one that speaks for the Baron, so he may just kind of sit and hold audience during these various instances of state. And as soon as you all walk in, the man comes down towards you and says that, thank you all for coming. We have had an instance that requires the attention of people of your ilk. Would you be willing to work for coin, or would I be insulting you by suggesting such?
Does it spend as well at the tavern as whatever else you pay me?
As well or better.
Seems good to me.
Can I make a roll for the Zamarian NPC to see if he's lying first time meeting him?
Sure, absolutely.
I was going to do the same thing because I have that too, Steven.
What would that be under, Jeech?
It's thievery under awareness.
We're good to
yep.
go then. Because I'm quite the thief.
Nice.
Okay, so you each succeed, and with the additional success, I will draw over another momentum into your pool. You can tell that he is not lying. He seems to be, in fact, because of 2 successes, deadly serious in that he's concerned for not his own well-being, but his own performance standards in front of his Baron. The Baron might not look like much right now, but this man seems to be scared of him.
Pal would look at Sin kind of like he knows where she's from. He senses that they're from the same place, and he feels like he can get a little leverage. What you require probably is going to cost a lot of money, my friend.
You do not know what we need, but yeah. And he steps forward and says, as he reaches into his kind of vestments and pulls out a scroll that seems to be tied with a rather large or wide band ribbon. News of a wildfire bearing down from Fort Venarium. Baron Sintelfels recalled his family. They had been up there visiting his brother, and his wife and children were traveling back, but they have never arrived. He hired a company from the White Company to bring them home, but we received this instead. And he offers it out to somebody in the company. It is the scroll with the large band ribbon around it.
What does it say?
It simply says, "We have them. A baker's bag of uncut rubies for them whole. Your hesitancy for them in pieces. Blood also stains the scroll." And the man says, "It's contained his lady's ring finger without the ring."
I'm a former merc. Have I heard of these guys?
Yep, you can make me a roll. Let me see, Artigan, what I want you to have. This should be just a straight up history roll. But let me see if there's something that might be more fitting. Lore. If you can roll me a lore, this should be,
I'm not great at it, but I do have it. He has been around.
You can use momentum if you'd like. If you'd like to add another die to that, you may.
Okay, we've got the pool, so 3d6?
Yep, go right ahead.
Sorry, not 3d6, 3d20.
3d20, yes sir.
Beg your pardon.
I agreed with you anyway.
1 success.
Nice. And so, yes, you have heard of the White Company before. The White Company is perhaps one of the best mercenary companies in the world, let alone the North. They are known to be horsemen without peer, and they are known to work, they're loyal to the highest bidder or the person that has hired them first. They have a reputation as being experts in their craft, but they have done everything from manning armies to commanding citizenry to kidnapping to governmental overthrows. They are, when you need something done, and it doesn't matter exactly what it is or how it gets done, the White Company is your first number to call.
Sargon's eyes are going to narrow, and he's going to say, myself and my former leader, the Aquilonian who called himself the Bull, we know these men. They are the best of the best. We must be prepared, and we must be, looking at the man, we must be well compensated if we are to deal with the best. The best comes with the best pay.
It's at this that the Baron moves in a surprisingly fluid fashion, and he throws something at the feet of Cinna, who is in front, and this bag hits and spills open as several uncut rubies spill out. And without looking up or moving his head after the throw, the eyes roll forward, looking beyond the top of the brow, and he says, 10 bags identical to this one for my family. 100 bags and lands in Gunderland for my family and the heads of these men.
Pal's eyes go wide.
Conan, here's another lesson. You don't haggle with people over their families. Just nod. Mm-hmm.
Don't haggle, right?
Not in this case, I don't think. He's very scary looking.
Boy, put 9 moons ago out of your mind. If a single thought, a single moment of doubt creeps in, we are all dead. Understand?
Yes, I understand.
Quick question.
Yeah.
This can either be to Artagan or just generally, but it seems like the White Company does stuff for hire. Do they usually just kidnap just for their own purposes, or is it likely that they're working for someone?
I can, because he had two successes, he would know everything about the White Company as far as their business operations. They never do anything without pay. They are pure mercenaries. There is no political agenda. There is no type of governmental allegiance, or they are not bannermen. They are not beholden to a flag or a king. They are beholden to coin, gem, power, anything that equates to some type of monetary or statutory worth in this world. And you can only assume that if they've done what they've done, if history is any type of teacher, they have done so for pay.
Do you know who has hired them, Lord Baron?
My enemies.
Any specific ones, or just general?
He kind of waves his hand, and the other man steps forward. The Baron has many enemies, as do any men in power. He is Aquilonian by birth. This is not Gunderland. It's closer to, and he kind of looks at the company that he's talking to for a second, and decides that he'll kind of press on with Artigan and Cinna, and leans in a bit to them. The Gunderlands are more barbarians than Aquilonians. They believe him to be a usurper, a puppet for the South. There are enemies everywhere.
I will actually speak in Aquilonian, addressing the Baron, and I will just say a few simple words. If to give him some form of mediocrity comfort in a civilized tongue, I shall say, it shall be done.
He definitely looks up at because it would be unaccented Aquilonian, correct, Artigan? It would be relatively...
The bull was Aquilonian, and through my languages, I speak perfect Aquilonian, even the accent.
Right, so yeah, it would be as if it came from one of the high houses of the South. And so the man looks up, and for the first time, his head actually leaves the rest of his fist. And as he looks up at Artigan, he... Bring them back, and I will give you holdings, he says in Aquilonian.
Pal understands Aquilonian too, and he responds, it's going to cost you.
Enough. We have the pay. Let us do the job. Let us not push. Let us move.
And
Okay,
we're going
old man.
We're going to say for the course of the narrative that in addition to Skyfeet, you all have mounts, as getting this far north on foot, you'd all be dead. So as you all have horses, you may elect to get them. It seems as if the Baron has kind of slumped back into his position, but the servant, the mouth of the Baron, has come forward. Anything that you require, we can give it to you. His men have gone south. They've called the banners in. It's a bad time for... It's never a good time, but it is a bad time for this. He will reward you. He is a man of honor, despite what you may have heard from some of these Condolins. But he will reward you.
Great. So, do we have, were there directions on the bloodstained scroll, or just kind of a general part of Gunderland?
The man tells you that the price that they required is that bag of rubies.
Got it.
Take it north towards the fort, and once you get up there, he looks for a second. We did not say is there was reports of a great forest fire that has been raging out of control, and the winds had changed, blowing from the west, and That is what prompted the Baron to call home his family from Fort Venarium. It is probably going to be a problem.
Pal goes for the bag. I'll hold on to the bag.
I've got it, pal. Thank you so much. I've got it.
And he kind of cross-eyes looks at her. Okay, my dear. You take it.
Uh-huh. Sinna. That is my name.
Sinna.
Smile.
We're in the Baron's castle, right?
Watch that one, Conan.
We're in like
Yes,
this
you are.
castle. This keep. Is there a
You are.
tower or a place that we can get a good observation of what it's like? Because we're going to be heading further north, right?
Correct. There is a watchtower. This is one of the older keeps that was established outside of. It was a keep that was kind of restored from a Gunderland type of fortress. So the watchtower is actually outside of the walls of the keep. It is a separate tower to denote more of a marking path than an actual warfare one. But yeah, you can go to it after you leave the keep.
Okay. Definitely want to do that.
Okay, anybody ascending to the top of the watchtower, you get about 125, 130 feet in the air, which is substantial for this region. Anybody going up, please roll me either an observation check, which will require 2 successes, or a survival check that will require 1.
Yeah, I'm going with survival.
I'll go with observation then. And I can re-roll if I need to. I'll,
Yes.
re-roll the other one.
Oh, it's like 1 from me.
Yeah, that's actually another success, I think. 'Cause my observation's super high. Yeah.
Okay, so from what it looks like, everybody either got a 2 in observation or a 1 in survival. So this is what the people that are observing, you see the following. It is evening time, and so as the sky turns to its various shades of violet to black, you do notice that there is a haze to the north, almost like a blurring or a disturbance of the skyline, as it's not as clear. It seems as if it's dulled by sun washing, or it's too bright for that particular area, as the darkness hasn't been able to creep down in that area of the sky. For those of you that succeeded on your survival check, blowing from the west and swirling through the valleys of Gunderland, you can smell ash. You can smell smoke. There is definitely a fire of some size to the north. And given the combination of what the observers have seen and what the survivalists have smelled, it is a big one.
We must hurry then. Speed.
Yes, we don't want to get cut off. Display any of the hesitation they told him not to.
Okay, you guys would know, especially with the observation and survivalist rolls, that Fort Venarium is about 3 days north. So you should be able, that's at a leisurely pace too. At top speed, you could probably get there a day and a half, day and 3/4. So I'm assuming if you're taking off in the evening time, tell me, how are you proceeding? Leisurely? Or are you riding like the wind?
What's the path like? What's the road like?
The road is actually very well tended, as this is the last of the main thoroughfares or the main arteries for the Kingdom of Aquilonia. Fort Venarium is the farthest northern province of Aquilonia, and it requires constant, it's almost like Castle Black, it requires constant reinforcement as far as supplies, manpower, goods to be brought up to that area. So they have kept the roads very, very well tended. There's still, none of it's paved or anything, but there are more patches of gravel than you would probably see in something this far north.
Okay.
Can we look out for traps as we go if we hurry? Like a thief roll to set ambushes or anything?
Absolutely, but much like 5e, the faster you go, the more successes I will require you to roll to see if you do in fact see anything.
I'm pretty good in thievery, so I'll take a shot, and if I need to use momentum on it, I'll use momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so with that, the 2 successes as you guys ride off for the first several hours. Pal will say that you're taking the lead a bit, as I'm assuming that Arik is going to be able to outpace anybody at this point, as he is the horseman. But we'll say that Pal is keeping pace with him and able to check
He lets
the
him
path
go ahead of him.
as you're checking the path. Wherever you guys want to position yourselves is fine. Pal, you don't see anything along the path or anything beside the path that would indicate either a trap or ambush for the first leg of the journey. As you all get closer, because of the successful observations and survival checks before, you are aware of what you need to be looking for. The smells of just that choking, burning ash smell isn't so prevalent as it's contributing to you not being able to breathe, but it just becomes a prominent smell, a prominent fixture in the air around here, as you can feel the air begin to haze and it takes on a weight to it, and the sky is beginning to brighten well before any type of daybreak. As you proceed again, Steve, if you want Pal to continue, go right ahead and roll again. Okay.
Just 1 success.
Also, at this point, I will take either observation or survival skills from everyone. These are not momentum builders. This is just a pure, kind of a casual, passive look around the area. So, multiple successes will not gain momentum in this instance.
1 success for Arik.
2.
Okay. So it is actually maybe 2 or 3 hours before dawn when you all are riding down, and everybody that succeeded on their observation skills, you see a cart that, upon closer inspection, seems to be a carriage that is gilded, and that the wheels are supported with additional struts and shock absorption that you would see from something that is highborn, something that is extremely well made. It is tilted over, giving it the semblance of a cart upon first inspection because you're looking at the beneath of it. But as you ride off or ride up about 50 feet through the grass, you see this turned over on its side.
Should be careful. And what's the terrain like around here? Is it heavily forested, or how like broken is the ground?
Right. The road, as said before, is very well tended. It's getting deeper and deeper into a forest region. At this point, however, there are still intermittent patches along the side of the road of kind of sweeping bowls of grass that are probably runoff from the far mountains. So you can see. You have a good length of vision, but the grass is dry and the grass is tall. And right now, that's what has the cart or the carriage has cut down into this grass and fallen on its side and come to rest there.
Is there any movement, just more than wind in the grass or in the trees nearby? That's what I'd be looking out for.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, with that, I'll let you use, with 2, you don't see any type of movement. For the survivalists that took that role, Arik, you do notice that there is a tremendous amount of wildlife movement. Wildlife that normally wouldn't be moving at night. It's not nocturnal. I mean, you see there are deer running, and they're not running, they're running past you. And being aware of hunters in this region, there's something driving them that is way more frightening than you all. And you see a ton of this.
Well, should check for traps. Arik is going to try to find a good vantage point. He's sort of like suspecting some kind of ambush, maybe, or at least maybe an observer looking for a messenger or something. That's what he's looking for. Is anyone else here who maybe is trying to be hidden or unseen?
Okay, so you're looking for any type of like lookout type of area. Let's see. With your survival roll, I will say that across the path, you do notice that those trees begin to thicken as it hits like the northeastern side of the trail leading north. If there was a perch to be had, you believe that would be the one that would give the best vantage south and then again to the north if it was a relay type of station. You cannot see anything in the trees themselves, though, but that's not to say they are not there, as this is a heavily forested area in this particular copse.
Yeah, it's do not like all these trees and mountains. Arik has his bow casually out kind of on his lap and is just watching that tree line, sort of overwatch while whoever else is checking the carriage can focus on that.
Cinna will kind of saddle up next to Arik. Arik, does it seem strange to you that the man who can afford however many bags of rubies is only asked for one for his family?
Strange, yes. Like, do they not know that he could give them 10 bags?
It seems like they should. Don't know if they expected him to go himself, maybe?
Perhaps. They are either stupid, which our friend says they are not. Something else we do not know.
They're maybe being paid a lot more by someone else, but they don't know really for what.
It is one of two things. One, they are simply doing the work from the highest bidder. Or two, because I noticed about the bags of rubies as well, we are the shield to take the blunt if the Baron is to go himself.
Well, then we should watch our backs.
Pal, you should check the carriage. There might be treasure inside.
He's already there. He's already searching it. It's already done. Yeah, he's already over there. Come on, Sway. Let's check this. I don't trust
Bob
any of
starts
them.
peeling the gilding off of the side of the door.
And with this close to the wildfire and the animals, Arik's just going to be, we should rest our horses as best we can, because when we need them, we will not want them, their breath full of the smoke. We're just kind of giving some friendly horse advice.
Pal kind of screams out loud, we should just split the bag of rubies and forget this whole goddamn thing.
It might come to that, my friend.
We'll think about it. I'm going to consider it carefully.
See if the investment is any good before deciding to cut and run.
Make sure it's not glass.
We could get a lot more money. That kind of Pal mumbles it. He doesn't even say it out loud.
Okay, so Pal and Schwa, you guys are headed down towards the carriage. Arik, you're doing Overwatch. Cinna and Artigan, you guys are resting. Everybody's resting horses, but what are Cinna and Artigan doing? Are they staying on the road? Are they assisting somewhere else?
Strange as this sounds, Artigan is well armored and he's gonna be a distraction. Basically, I'm gonna stand in sort of like the center of the road, so if anybody is gonna take a pot shot and wants a great big bullseye, hello!
Okay. Cinna?
Good choice.
I want to try and... I was bad at climbing before, but I'm not in a rush. So I want to try if there are any trees with branches to try and climb up and just get a better view of what's happening.
Okay, we have Arik who is kind of looking at doing Overwatch to the northeast. Do you want to go to like south of this position? Do you want to or do you want to overlap with him to the north?
I'll take the other side just to watch our backs.
Okay, and let's see, since we are about ready to end this scene, which means the loss of the one momentum that you have, I will allow you to spend it and immediately climb up to where you would like to be.
So athletic. Yes.
There you go. You are able to spend it before we switch the scene. So as everyone is sitting there and as Schwa and Pal are getting down towards the carriage, I would like observation rolls by Pal and Schwa. And I would also like one from Artigan, who is in the main road right there.
Can
Arik,
I use Living
Arik-
Shadow, Cheech?
You want to try to sneak down there? You mean so
Yeah.
you can?
Yeah, I want to be stealthy. Like if anything is coming, he can be like hidden as he's looking through the try to watch as carefully as he can.
Absolutely. And then I would like survival rolls from Arik and Senna, as you guys have the pseudo or the kind of a more of an elevated coming out of this bowl-shaped area.
Two
I did well.
successes.
I had 3.
One success.
Great. I'm gonna go ahead.
Arik's doing something else.
Arik's Sky
He got caught
Feast.
up. Yeah, he got bored just watching. He's probably like fiddling with the braid on his whip or something.
Right. So as you guys look around, this is what happens here. Schwa, you can see as you get closer that there's a kind of a spilled element, as if something has been, this carriage has not only crashed, but been ransacked. The door is actually off of its hinge on the high side, or the side that would be facing the sky. It seems as if that was pulled off, but as the closer you get, you see another door lying in the high grass, as if the door that it's fallen on has either broken off or been pulled off as well. Around this entire area, this kind of a spill circumference, you see toys. Not necessarily camping items, but clothing and travel gear. It's spilled out everywhere. It doesn't seem to have any type of order to it. But it also doesn't seem as if it was part of the crash, where it kind of, dropped these instruments or these items as it was crashing. The spread seems too kind of condensed in one area. You also get up, and Schwa, that's kind of all that you can take in as you're going through the grass. But as Pal, you're getting closer up into the grass, you can smell beyond the smoke that's in the air. You can smell that there is food of some kind inside here. It's a sweet smell, a smell of like honey cakes, a smell of maybe some type of like cured meat that has a honeyed element to it, or some type of sweetener to it. It's so profound, it's able to kind of power back the smell of smoke in this just slight area. We're going to cut to Senna. Senna, you just pull yourself up to a perch and kind of sit down. And as you're looking down, you realize now that as Pao is going around the blind side of this carriage and Schwa is kind of going around with him around the one side of it. Artigan, Artigan, you notice that at the same time Senna is noticing what she's noticing, you notice that the grass, as it's blowing from the west, there's one patch of it that doesn't look like it's blowing at all, as if there's no grass right there. It seems as if from this kind of position, as you look around, you see a circle in the grass that is absent the reeds that kind of, the blades that hang up. Senna, you see that same break in the grass, but in this case, it's not empty. And as soon as Pao goes around the corner and Schwa goes around the corner, you see a massive bear rear up as it has been going through the foodstuffs of the carriage. And as soon as it sees Schwa and Pao, because it can smell Pao, it attacks. And so, as everybody sees all of this go down, I want the following from the following. I am actually going to start using my Doom, kids, and I am spending my Doom to allow the bear to go first. So I'm going to spend my first element of Doom. Boop. And the bear is now going to rear up, and as it screams, it's as its mouth twists. This is a brown bear. This is a grizzly bear in the purest sense of the word. And as it decides to throw down its first attack, going as a bite towards Pao, that is just one hit, and it is going to hit the right arm for... Give me one sec as I get this right. Okay, so with this first bite, as it comes down, It is going to do 5 damage plus an additional 6 points of damage as it bites into the right arm of Pal, the rogue, and blood from the puncture wounds sprays out over the white teeth that are covered with this tacky, honeyed cakes that must have been inside the carriage. This Pooh Bear, if you will, hits its mouth and all of the fur around it matted with this stuff as it is crazed by both the wonderful meal it has hit and the smoke that has pushed it from its normal hunting grounds. And as that bites into you, brother, that is going to be, with that 6, you are going to suffer our first wound of the game as you... Please check off 1 wound for me, as this is over 5 damage in 1 shot. And so it grabs you, and you see, Schwa, you have the best view of Pal get shook as it shakes him and tosses him over to the side. Oh, I got my hair in my mouth. Let me see. Okay. It shakes him and tosses him over to the side as you smash into the grass about 5 feet away. It then turns and attacks with a paw or a claw towards Schwa. And both of those are going to be a hit as... Boop, boop, boop.
Oh, no!
As, let's see... Yep. Okay, that's going to do also 5 damage onto your head. So with the smash against your head, I will ask this question. When you were setting up Schwa, did you give him a helmet?
I did not give him a helmet.
Okay, so as you hit, Schwa gets hit, he gets hit for 5 damage, which gives him a wound as well, as this creature's paw comes through and just smashes Schwa. He lands in a heap, head, ears ringing, eyes rolling in his head as he smashes down beside Pal. As Pal, you both are laying there, and we will cut then to you.
Can I ask one quick question real quick, Cheech? I have right armor. I have a 2 on that. Did that take into account?
Absolutely, yeah. If you have 2 armor on that, drop it down to a 4, as the armor will take 2 of that damage away, and you do not have a wound. You do lose the 4 vigor, but you do not have a wound.
Where do I put the 4 at? Is that in resolve?
You will see it on your character sheet as we are getting used to Modifius's 2d20 character sheets here on Roll20. Underneath your trackers and underneath the stress, you should have a level of stress that is indicated under vigor, a check mark. Take it away from there for me, please.
Put 4 of them in there, right?
No, minus whatever you start with. So if you start with 8, take 4 away from it. If you start with 9, take 4 away from it. When you hit, it's a countdown tracker, everybody. So when you hit 0 vigor, you start taking a wound every time you get hit.
Got it.
And once you get a wound in combat like this, the first thing that goes is any... Let me make sure I tell you this exactly, since it's the first time we're talking about it on screen. Your agility, brawn, and coordination rolls, which are on the right side under the main titles, agility, brawn, and coordination. Anytime that you require normally 1 success to complete a skill or attack, you now have to use 2, as the wound is compounding. So every time you get a wound, it makes it much more difficult to do things. So now I will cut over to our crew. I am going to give Artigan the first move here, and he can pass off to whoever's around, as both Pal and Schwa were blasted to the ground. And Artigan, you are the closest one to them from the road, and you see this creature rear up, 8-9 feet in height, as it kind of, as its mouth kind of splits and roars, Pal's blood over its teeth. What would you like to do?
Okay, so taking a stock of the situation, and Conan is with us, right?
Correct. Conan is there.
Okay, so I'll just look up at the 9-foot bear and I'll just say, how old? A honey trap. Have not seen it in years. Eric, eyes up. Conan, flank round the back. Sitter, open fire. And I'm just going to go into the bear and have my way with it.
Having your way with the bear is something that I've heard quite a bit in these years. But go ahead and Go ahead, you can make your charge and get to where you need to be. Please do so now. And
Okay, so I'm attacking.
you are attacking. You can get there and do whatever you'd like.
Oh, I'm just after the bare necessities. Right,
Yep.
one success.
Okay, so you hit. Please roll damage for me with that one success.
Sorry, oh no, click the sword, just
Click
once.
this- Yes, sir. Just once for me, please. It'll do all the damage dice that are available to you.
6.
Nice. Okay, so and you get 2 effects on your broadsword. Does your broadsword have any effects? As I will
No,
reacquaint.
unfortunately not. It's just
Yeah.
I just get an extra parry with it.
You get parry, correct. Okay, so as you come in and do all of this, with 6 hits, the bear screams in pain as it is dealt a wound by Artigan, who runs in, slashing with his sword in a vicious uppercut for 6 damage, as the bear is not real fond of you. Who would you like to
Okay.
give? Who would you like to give? If you have nothing else to do, who would you like to give initiative to?
Oh, I'm not done. I'm going to spend a fortune point and I'm going to have
Oh,
him make
shit. Okay, absolutely. Go right ahead. And a fortune is an automatic hit, so just roll the damage as you spend the fortune for the extra attack, as Artigan comes in cleaving with the Atlantean broadsword.
Thank you, Ozzy. 3.
Okay, so with an additional 3, as you bring it down, a vicious upswipe, and as you kind of flip the sword and spin it behind you, Conan watching the whole time, as you kind of flip it and bring it back around and swing it down, it slashes against the other upper shoulder area as the creature, as it reels back, its blood spattering and mixing with Pal's on its own lips. The honey maybe not worth what it just endured. Who would you like to roll it off to now, swordsman?
I will even RP it. Sinner!
Pew pew. Yes. Yay. Yes, I'm shooting it with my longbow. I'm very excited about. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Get my extra thing.
Oh!
I love her. I love being me. And then I'll just do the other
Okay.
attack too.
Okay, go. Jesus. Okay,
Greg,
so
what's the Hyperborean age word for ownage?
right, we have a couple things that we can do here. As
Get the
this
fuck
is,
there.
yeah, this is. You needed 2 successes, and you gave 8. So, I will allow you that with those shots, you can stack damage, meaning in whatever you roll, you're going to get 6 on top of it. So that's like Artigan's first attack just for being you. So
I love me. Sure, that sounds good. That sounds super. And I also get my extra combat die too. And Dawn had cheered to max out our momentum anyway, so I'll just
very,
Oh my-
very great.
I'ma just get to it. That's first one is 10. And then the second one, and then I get 2 more combat die on top of this. Second one is 7, so that's 17, and then 18, 19, and I have piercing on my longbow.
Yeah, I'm not doing any of that math because it was only 4 more that was needed to take out. So as Artigan, as you hit and you yell out Senna, you immediately see 2 feathered shafts bury themselves, a good 7 to 8 inches in each of the bear's eyes, as it looks very odd for a second, as the stuck honey on its lips mixes with the gel of its eyes, creating a very unpleasant goop that somebody that's in the taxidermy business would have an awful hard time kind of setting this for show on a rug of some, maybe the Baron's keep. But you see these 2 feathered shafts appear in its eyes, and for a moment the hands kind of lazily bat at the eyes, and then the bear hits the ground.
As he goes down, the character is literally going to hold up his hand, wave him and say, bye-bye.
Okay, and as I am in a mood, I am going to spend 2 of my doom And Arik, as you are off to the side of the road and your survival skill was distracted, let's say, the mate of this bear has come running back to the sounds of the screams and has split through the brush on your side. You see it beelining and charging towards the others as it is fighting both its natural instincts to run away from a fire in lieu of running towards its wounded mate. And you see this massive creature just bowling through this dusty grass.
Oh, there's another. He stammers as it charges past him.
Another what?
Well, do something about it, Arik.
And Arik is hearing Senna spur him on to action. Arik is going to gather his wits and ride around sort of behind the bear and see if it can't draw its attention away from the rest of the group. And I'm going to shoot an arrow trying to hit its leg, like its leg. All right, here we go.
I will allow you to use one of your momentum for a called shot if you would like to do so.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
There we go. I like the sound of this. That is 2 crits for me.
So that is 1 success. You already spent momentum to make it a called shot on a leg, plus an additional 3 successes. You can bank the momentum, but I will let you know that you're already at the top of your kind of banked pool with 5. You could bank 1 more, but you could use just as Cinna did and use those 3 as additional damage points. So you can add 3 points immediately to your strike if you would like.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and do that.
Right. Also, and I'll remind everybody too, if you're wondering what you can use momentum for, my players, I have underneath there, you should be able to see the momentum buys list at the top where your character sheets are. You can always pull that up and take a look at it to see exactly what you can buy with the momentum that has graciously been donated from our chat and from your own successes.
Thank you, chat. I'm using mine for damage. Going to roll this right here. Here we go. Here we go. 1 plus effect. I get 2 plus an effect. So this damage roll.
Right, and for you, let me see, your effect on this bad boy is, where are you? I'm going right, oh, there you are, Reek. Let's see, do you have anything for your bow?
Volley for my...
Volley, so... Yeah, what this can do for you is you can now fire an additional shot with your effect if you would like. This will do half damage if it hits. It is a cost of 1 momentum to do so, and you can fire your range of attacks again. So what we'll do is we'll say that your first one ended up doing 4 points of damage, and you get your additional attack for it. So
my second attack, but it's 2, no crits, and second attack, and it'll do, you said half damage?
No, actually, since you spent your momentum, you get full damage for this bad boy, and as it is an actual swift action bonus, and yep, there you go, 3 for another 4. That's a total of 8 done to the mate as it comes rushing in, as the bowmasters are showing exactly why it is great to be away from the fighting.
Reek does one of those charges up within 5 feet and just plants the arrow right where he wants it before skirting off away from this bear.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love that. I love that image. So as you come riding up on Sky Feet, not holding on to the reins at all, you just run through and just gangster plant 2 of these shots into the back of this bear as you continue to ride by. The bear completely stunned by 1, your arrival, and 2, the incredibly pointy things that you have embedded into its flesh. It stops for a second and slides, but its momentum gives it enough to carry it into the range of the carriage. You may now hand off to either Schwa or Pal as it is their turn to do something.
I'll yell out a warning. Schwa, look out!
Schwa is unconscious, but is awakened by the shout of Arik and wakes up groggily, feeling very unschwa. So, I have a quick question. Is there any way for me to heal a wound in combat?
You may do what is called it's the second wind, very similar to what a fighter can do in D&D. For every point of momentum you use, you get back one of the vigor that you lost or one of the stresses that you lost from your attack. So basically every momentum counts as a hit point that you can kind of psych yourself up and get back.
Okay. All right, I'm about to die, so I need to use 2 of those.
Okay. You can also use a fortune point to completely heal yourself if you would like to.
Well, I was thinking that I would use 2 momentum to heal 2 vigor, and then use 1 fortune point for an auto hit on the bear with my spear.
I like the way you think. I'm glad to be a part of it. I will take the 2 momentum away, and you do an auto crit, which will be 4 successes for you with your spear. If you just want to roll the damage at the bottom of your spear, or right beside your spear at the bottom of your character sheet, we will see exactly what it is that Schwa does. He needs 1 success. He actually needs 2 because of his wound, but he will have an over 2 once he gets this down. Let me see, Schwa, I can help you out here
I
a
got
little.
4, right?
Oh, yeah. So with your spear, and I believe Schwa has an interesting effect on his spear too, which I believe is... No, the barbed spear... Actually, no, the barbed spear is vicious. It's not on there. So the vicious is going to give an extra point of damage for every time you do an effect. You've done 3 of those. So as you do 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 points of damage, we're going to say that as this thing... charges in, Schwa, you simply plant your spear and let it run into you. And as it impales itself onto you, the feathered shaft still quivering that Arik sent into its hide, the second bear falls, almost embraces you a bit as it kind of slides down your spear and then slips off to the side. You have destroyed both bears, my thieves. Congratulations.
Fall before the mighty Schwa.
Literally.
Is it all clear? Because I'm not coming down if there are more bears. I'm going to stay here.
I'm seating.
Nice. I could stay here, set up shop. Pretty good tree.
It's a wildfire.
Oh right, no, we must move.
I was like, fuck, is there any way to bandage himself to gain back any vigor?
You have 3 points of momentum, one of which you're going to lose in a second. You may spend all 3 of them to get anything back that you need. That's coming from the pool, so if that's agreed upon by the rest of everyone, you can do so.
Absolutely.
It's in fighting shape.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay,
That's what it's for.
and
You got mauled by a bear.
right, so momentum
It could've been
back down
worse.
to 0. Yeah, momentum back down to 0. Schwa, you can always use a second fortune point if you want to heal yourself as well. Anybody that took damage in that, you are going to be able to recoup as the momentum has already been played forward. You can recoup, but you can't recoup your wound slack. So with the wound, you would have to use a fortune point in the field to do so.
Got it.
And you guys are out of combat as the 2 creatures kind of come to rest. Senna, while they're figuring out what to do on the ground, roll me a survival check.
Well, cool. Let me just scroll up that. Here we go. I think I can actually reduce the decentness because of Vagabond. 2 6.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, you're still within the... from your position, as you're looking around, you don't notice any, you don't observe any additional things. You're seeing what Arik saw before. There's a lot of wildlife movement. So as you're looking around, and yeah, Ozzy's right, the stress goes away at the start of the next round, which you guys all have, but the wound is going to stay in there. So the wound is still a part of it. basically, for those of you that are asking, stress is your hit points. Once you reach 0 hit points or you lose 5 of them at a clip, it gives you a wound. A wound is something that does not heal until it's given time to do so. You may spend fortune to do so, however. So as you're looking around, Cinna, you see to the west. And as you look and as the wind from the west begins to pick up and kind of dictate and command the scene around you, you see a rush of orange about a mile off. It seems to be running both to the south and to the from the west to the east, and coming from the south in the position you already went to.
I'll just call that to everyone. Report them. See.
Okay, so yeah, Cinna is able to call down to everybody and let you all know that she sees that there appears to be at least a line of fire en route to your location.
To the west. And did we find any tracks or anything around the carriage? Anything that might lead us in a certain direction? Or was it just a trap?
I'm going to throw a bone to Pal, as Pal was thrown down into the ground, and he had a pretty decent observation before he went down. Pal, the one benefit to being bitten by a bear is that while you landed, you are now kind of face down in what looks like tracks that are leading back towards the north. They split through the high grass here, but it seems that they retake the road about 200 yards north.
Who's a good tracker? I assume you, horseman.
I can track if need be. Yes.
There's tracks here, and he shows Arik where the tracks lead to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So as long as I am on my horse with a bow in hand, I count as having the hunter talent, which I think gives me some benefits to. I can either add doom to the pool, which I guess is a bad thing, to succeed automatically, or do something else. I'm dangerous now. I have a copy of the rule book.
Right. I will tell you what. Go right ahead. If you would like to add Doom to the pool, I will, for the low price.
Let's make it interesting. I'm going to add 2 Doom and get this and figure out exactly where.
Doom for Arik.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay, so
he's already asked you, I'm told. He knows.
Right. So as Arik, as you are sitting there, and as this deal with fate goes down unobserved by the horseman, you're able to see and observe that there is in fact a trail going north. With the spending of Doom, I will let you know that it is several mounted riders. You're not sure exactly how many. They seem to be riding in a way that disguises their numbers. And so you can see that they are sweeping up, but they are definitely shoed horses, which adds a measure of civility to whomever is in charge of the mounts.
Are the horses carrying extra weight?
You can tell that 3 of them seem to be have deeper strides and deeper steps. Once again, it may be a repeat of just seeing one horse several different times in its travel, or it looks like multiples to you, though. At least
Gotcha.
3.
I'll relay the information. Group of riders headed north. Some of them with perhaps extra weight that they are carrying. Should hurry. And
North will head. Conan.
Yes.
I just look at him, just raise my sword. You are Sumerian. Like Torg, you possess the strength and rage of your people. And I just show him the Atlantean broadsword with probably bear blood all over it. And how, despite the 2 bad hits, how easily we took those bears down. And I'll say to him, and I'll point to my head, learn to fight with this, then the sword, as well as this, and you will be invincible.
He listens to everything you say, but at the mention of Torg, you see a dark countenance kind of furrow his young brow a bit, as he doesn't look down, and he remembers another teaching that he had been given that says never cry in front of people, and he continues to look. But Artigan, for a moment you can see a glassiness take his eyes, but he nods and turns to move to the north.
Chin up, boy. Use that pain. Use that rage. Let's go.
What does it
Okay.
work?
So as you guys retake your animals along the road, you can hear the approach of the fire as it has a sound to it now. The cracking and the splitting of dry timbers, the jump of flame from limb to limb as it is rushing and charging just as powerfully and just as ferociously as the bears did. And as you take your seats on your horses, everyone without a roll can see it sweeping from the left or the west as you're riding north. And as you see it coming, everyone but Arik, I need you to make an animal handling check as you are faced with mounts that do not like fire.
Greg, at the top, Kiana had given me an extra point of fortune with her sub, so I'm going to use that right now. I'm not
Okay.
good at animal handling.
Right, I see it in Zoom chat, everything that you're telling me about. So
Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
I cannot believe I succeeded.
I've actually got this, and I got it.
Everybody, good thing, everyone. It's looking good. Okay, so with fortune or the actual art of rolling, you guys are able to, and I am going to give momentum to both Slack and Steve for rolling those bad boys and not taking the momentum or the taking the fortune route, as
Hola.
it's not a bad thing, Lauren. I'm just saying they could easily have lost because I'm looking at their animal handling skills right now and they are no good. So with the balls nature.
Do I get one, or was it a fair shake? Or was it a fair shake because I got a 2 to animal handling?
No, as long as you got one success is what you needed, but they received the 2 additional successes, and I'm going to award the momentum beyond that. So absolutely.
How's a gambler?
Okay, so as you guys are riding off, the animals are skittish. Arik, you would know these animals are just moments away from bolting without any type of bit or bridle being able to control them. But somehow Schwa and somehow Pal are able to keep these horses under control as they are just about ready to spear it. And with with a combination of driving their fear forward, much like Artigan just said, to use the rage, the fear is used by the riders of these horses, and all of you rocket to the north. And as you rocket, you hear the whoosh and the rush as behind you, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 yards now, there is a wave of fire that rushes through the field that houses the 2 bear corpses, taking both of those corpses and the carriage up into just moments of rocketry as they get hit and brightly burn as the honey that the one bear so desperately desired ended up costing it its life as it goes out in a bear of glory. So as you guys are riding north, you see that the fire is kind of encompassed. You kind of rise up into the hills a bit. You see that the fire has swept below you in the path, sort of blocking you in, but you also notice that there is a rock outcropping that seems to be acting as a fire break for right now to the left. As you rise into the hills, the jump is going to have to come from the south. So as you're riding, there's no threat of a westerly advance of this blaze or this wildfire. Your eyes, though, do keep turning to the south and potentially the north as the way into this rising hilly valley type area. How are you guys going, and what is the order again? As we are out of combat, out of the area, I'm going to allow the 2 momentum to stay. What would you guys like to do?
So we've got tracks leading north. That's sort of the way we were going, but you said there's like a rocky outcropping that if we needed to, we could take shelter in from the wildfire?
Yeah, absolutely. Imagine this is a kind of a low rise coming from a valley up along and hugging a mountain. So you have the same elements as the plain and the forest as it creeps up the mountain towards the tree line, but as you're going through, there are increasing amounts of cliff faces on the left-hand side. They are also accompanied by cuts in the rock that, you can drive the horses into. So it's more rock and cliff elements are being added to the scenery the higher that you get here, the more northerly you go.
I think we should take shelter in those rocks.
To rest, or do you think this will pass soon, or just keep burning?
I don't know how long we can stay ahead of it.
I mean, if these outcroppings are big enough for us to hide in, who's to say the, White Company are not also doing the same?
That's very true. Yeah, is there any sort of indication that the tracks would lead to where these outcroppings are?
Well, because you spent Doom, my friend, I'm going to tell you that it seems that the tracks continue to the north. They do not seem to have been taking any shelter in the area.
Horseman, do you think that we're going to die out here? We don't think we can get away.
We will be able to circle back around. It's just a fire. Just stay out of the way and don't breathe in the smoke.
That's good. Conan, write that one down. Put that in your notepad. That's a good one.
These grass fires all the time on
that was not the answer I was looking for.
Conan, remember that.
Let's go back around.
Don't breathe in smoke. Take shelter. Don't touch fire. Got it. Conan the reporter is born.
He's learning so much.
We should if we pursue them. We will stay ahead of the fire, I think, and perhaps find them and catch them off guard.
Yes.
Off guard? No. They will be ready. Catch them, though? Yes.
What sort of horsemen are these White Company?
Gregory?
They're the best. Now, with this asterisk, just like Europe was able to claim to be the best at everything, they are the Aquilonian best, which means they are self-appointed. So whether or not they are truly the best horse masters in the world remains to be seen, as they are reputed by other Aquilonians as the best. So
they wear a lot of armor and the like, big horses.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's why I bring a lasso.
I hate animals.
They are standard Aquilonian warriors. Skilled, good on horseback, nice armor. Ego? Definitely.
Perhaps we use it against them.
Shoot them in the ego. Got it.
Shoot their horse.
Conan, shoot them in the ego.
Oh, Conan, you're so good. You're so good at learning.
We need to take them when they're not on a horse, because we are screwed other than you, horseman.
It's true. This is true. And then, so I guess we'll just, Arik's just like leading the party northward along with where the tracks are.
Okay,
Maybe.
so
If we can find a good vantage point, we can slow down and try to approach, not right into the middle of camp or something.
Right. Okay, so as you guys proceed with Arik leading you up kind of into this elevated area, the next kind of level of the forest, as you get taken up there, Arik, it plateaus out, and then you realize it dips back down again as it kind of returns to a more valley nature, as this mountain is kind of being skirted. As you dip down, Cinna, you were looking for all of this. I'd like you to make an observation or a survival check right now.
Two successes.
Okay, so with the two successes, you see the following. Off to it's the north, so it's coming in from the northwest, traveling what looks like southeast towards you all. You see another line of fire. It's quite distant though, but because of this kind of rise and this elevation, you get more of a kind of a vantage on it. But just below you, in a field very similar to the one that held the carriage and the two bear corpses, and now ash and fire, you see three figures. They seem to be in the very middle of the field.
Guys, I found the ambush. Are you excited?
Oh, this is clever. This is very clever. Think about it. And I'll point down. 1, ambush. 2, meeting point. Then I'll look over to the fire. 3, timer.
Yes, good.
You're very
No.
smart old man.
No, Sinner, don't you see? The question we haven't been asking. Who started the fire?
Well, we didn't start the fire.
I
It was
wonder
always
if-
burning.
It's burning. Really,
was
since
wa-
the world's been turning.
Because it's now approaching from the west and the south.
I wonder if-
like,
You're
Like
not
a
sure.
half moon?
Yeah, it's a half moon coming from the north. Now, the southern fire that you guys just evaded, you haven't seen any progress of that coming from the south, mainly because of the stretches of rock that you passed and the fact that you had a mountain skirting to the side. However, there was enough grass and growth that potentially it could come that way. But with the observation skill of Senna right there, she doesn't see anything right now that would indicate that.
I mean, that is why he called his family back early, was because,
there was a fire.
right.
I mean, they caught them on the road.
Yes, maybe they wanted the reason to get them out sooner rather than later, and either they just don't care about being set on fire, or... No, that seems about right. They're not, I don't think they're worried about it.
Coincidental, but these men are fuckers of mothers, so they will be prepared to do anything, and they do not do anything unless they feel they are in absolute control.
The White Company are fuckers of mothers. Watch out for them. That's Conan is taking his notes.
Do I think I can sneak up on these motherfuckers and see what's going on before we sneak out an ambush?
Well, you have
Like
three
if I go to
figures.
back with,
You have 3 figures visible
In the middle of
in
the
a field, right? Beyond those 3 figures, you haven't seen any other fuckers of mothers.
okay.
Do the figures look alive?
There's 3 figures in a field. You would probably have to get a little bit closer to identify exactly
Hal's gonna
how.
skirt around. He's gonna skirt around.
Yes, you go, pal.
He's gonna
I'll
drop
stay
off the horse.
here.
He's gonna drop off the horse and he's gonna go down around and see if there's anything else. Like use living shadow as best he can and kind of see what is down that way around the figures.
Okay, so go ahead and roll for me your shadow mastery.
Rika, there's no way they just want to back.
That's straight agility.
Yeah, but you get to roll it with
Let me see. Shadow mastery is. I have living shadow. I just have living shadow.
That's what I mean. So, yeah, with your living shadow, it's a bonus to your stealth. So when you roll your stealth, roll it with an additional die.
Okay. Ooh.
Okay, so that additional die came in handy, as it looks like that was the one that... Nope, it was the first one. So yeah, you're able to creep down. You're pretty sure that you're unseen. You know, you're a quiet guy. You're not really used to doing this stuff out in the woods, but you know what not to step on and make noise. As you get closer, you kind of get to the edge of this leveled off area, much like where the road or Artigan would have been standing when the bears attacked. So give me an observation roll, Steve, as Pal is close enough now to glean some more information, should he wish it. You have 2 momentum as well.
No, I'll straight roll it. 2.
Okay, so that also docks another momentum. I can give you additional information, or I can put a momentum in the pool for all the others.
Give us additional.
Okay, it appears to be a woman, a young boy, and a younger girl. They are all bound back to back to back. They seem to be in various states of having been roughed up. The woman is heavily bandaged on her left hand. They are all gagged and they are all blindfolded, but each one of them is moving independently and they appear to be alive.
Kind of Powner's got the fuck. He knows he's looking for anything or anybody that would be watching.
With the additional information, I will tell you this. You see nothing.
What's around the field? Is it forest
Woods.
or rock?
It's wooded. It's identical in kind of composition to the one that you guys saw before. So once again, using your half moon, your crescent moon, imagine a field crescent moon with heavy woods beyond, and then the fire way farther beyond that. On the opposite side of the road, closer encroachment of trees, much like Arik was looking at in the other setting. As you know, they get taller and heavier the more northerly you go. But these are dense trees now, as you're starting to see the oaks are giving way to the needled trees, and so that creates an almost constant camouflage for eye depth and kind of figure level, as the needles always have some type of obscurity too.
Arik, do you see any more tracks? Do they just vanish? Do they go down to the field? Do they go into the trees?
Yeah, good way. Yeah, where do the tracks end up?
The tracks head north, never leaving the road, heading straight north.
The tracks tell a different story. They went northward, but they could have easily circled back around or sent their horses off.
This seems super elaborate for a bag of
Do I return by now?
If you're going to return, I'd like you to roll a stealth check, as you may do so with your bonus to stealth.
Reek's got his eye on that close tree line. Is there any place to
3 successes.
without anybody seeing?
Yeah, you can definitely. It doesn't open up and kind of open into a stage, but there's definitely the biggest problem for you all is getting from this elevated position and traveling down the 25-30 yards to the valley floor. That's where every time that Pal is moving, that's where the stealth roll comes into play. Is he able to kind of creep down there and do that?
Gotcha.
There's like a no man's land a bit from where you guys are to where the rest of the field is. Yeah, you believe you can do it, Arik. You believe that you could do it much easier off of Sky Feet, though.
Yeah. I'd like to, if there's like a place that's elevated but also lightly wooded, that's where Arik would like to be at the moment. He wants to be in a position to ride in if need be and not really be in a confined area. Is he smells a trap. This just is not. There's something going on here.
Okay, so I will tell you this. I will allow Arik to take Skyfeet with him, and he can get into the woods to the right of the path, or the east of the northerly route, away from the three figures that are tied up in the other side of the road in the field, for the small cost of 1 fortune.
Yeah, okay. All right. I'll pay it.
Okay.
And he just kind of like nestles himself in on Skyfeet into this thicket. Unfortunately.
So,
There's-
Pal... Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, after you.
I was just going to say, Pal, on your way back up, you see Arik disappear into the shadows, kind of skipping from bush to tree with a horse. It's one of the most impressive displays of controlled creep and ridery that you've ever seen in your life, because you're not sure you could match that type of stealth on 2 legs, let alone 4.
Goddamn acrobat. He should be in the fucking circus.
Okay, Senna.
How
Senna,
would
what did you...
stop though? He would stop going back to watch to see if anybody else noticed. By some chance, Arik going up, he's going to stop and kind of pause and hold his action.
Okay, so what are you holding? Just
I think that we're going to have to probably scout out. You know, I want to go back and tell the crew that is definitely the 3 people. This is definitely a trap. and we need to, they're obviously in the wood line or in a ditch or got something covered up somewhere that we cannot see.
Okay, so I will enable. You had a 3 stealth. I've awarded the group 2 momentum from your roll, so you're able to get up there and basically tell them everything you want, or you can stay where you are, kind of halfway up and halfway down. You can't do both though, because you'd be yelling.
Yeah, I'm gonna scratch that stay thing. He's gonna get up there and he's gonna tell the rest of them that this is definitely a trap, and we need to figure out a plan to either ambush them in the woods, or because if one person goes out, maybe that might draw them out. Who knows? That's something he'll let the group make a decision on.
Well, if you think it is a trap, the best way is for us to spring the trap. Let us ride directly to them and swoop them up and ride quickly away.
I like how you think. I think some people should do that and some people should not.
I am not doing that.
What is the point of the trap, though? Like, we're going to give them what they asked for, so what is the point of a trap? Why not just say, hey, do you guys have those rubies? And we'll be like, yeah, we have those rubies. Here they are. So what else is there to get? I don't have a lot of gold. I spent all my gold on this bow.
Assassination contract? Lure out the Baron and kill him?
Right, but there's no way he's coming. You saw him, he was very old. I mean, he was scary. I'll give him that. He's a scary guy. But he's old. Why would he come? I mean, no offense. He was older than you are, Tag.
Maybe they want to kill us. Or Conan.
No, he's chill. Conan, you're chill.
I'm very chill.
Write that down.
I'm always chill.
Okay, so I just don't, maybe it's just super legit and above board, except it's not at all. I just don't know what it's
What is
about.
legit? What is legit? What are you talking about?
It's an Zamorian slang.
I'm from Zamoria.
I know it's super duper secret mercenary slang.
You're too legit to quit.
Yes. Okay,
But why
so
do we not send the stealthy ones into the woods, and the loud ones like me shall go forth?
I like this plan a lot, except they're probably in the woods.
Yes.
There's no way we're hidden from where we are. There's no way we're hidden. We're like,
Oh, I'm very hidden. I'm very hidden.
oh, you're very sneaky, but we're just standing here.
Yeah,
Very,
Senna,
very sneaky.
you didn't like present yourself to the valley when you kind of crested over the hill. As soon as Arik came over, it was almost like you guys, as soon as his kind of head popped up a second, he was like, oh, okay, everybody can see us now if we keep going forward. So he went back, and you guys are still kind of on the blind side.
Copy. Okay.
Quick memory question, Greg. The Baron's speaker, where was he from?
He appeared by accent to be Aquilonian.
We got no sense of untrustworthiness from him.
Correct. He seemed scared of the Baron.
He's a scary guy.
Do I think I could sneak in the woods?
Arik, you are currently in the woods across from the line looking at everything. As this discussion continues with the other thieves as they're figuring out what to do, you bear witness to the lazy flight of an arrow coming across the opposite side of the field as its kind of white plume on the end of its fletching. It floats through the air and plops expertly into the calf of the little boy, who immediately starts to scream. You see him as this arrow quivers and stops inside him, inside his calf. It doesn't seem to be a mortal wound. It looks
Just
like a quail bow, too. Yep, from the opposite side.
It's from the opposite side. There's no way to get word quickly back to the party. I think instead, can I see where the party's at?
You know where they would be. If they haven't moved, you know what position they're in, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to fire my own warning shot at them just to get them to, like, come up here and see, And so he's going to, like, look back in that direction and see if there's not a way you can't skip, like, an arrow across the top of the grass or something, not like, hopefully not hitting one of them. Let's just get their attention.
Make an arrow shot for me.
Here we go.
I will say that you also have 4 momentum should you wish to use those.
Right, let's see. Okay, here we go. I got 1. I got a crit. Yeah, I got a crit.
Perfect. So we're going to say, Pal, you are the closest one to the rise. And as you're kind of turning to like talk to everybody else, on a fallen tree, maybe 6 or 7 inches from your face, a quivered shaft into the ground as it was traveling at a very low rate across. And you realize because of the roll that was given here in the crit, this came from the position that you saw Arik descending with sky feet into. And a second later, as you kind of scan without need for an observation roll, you see that there is an arrow sticking in the little boy's calf.
Someone shot the little boy. The magic horseman just sent an arrow down here to warn us.
The magic horse. Oh, okay, shit. Okay, so we just go down. I mean, I'll take the bag of rubies out of where I had them, and I'll hand them to Schwa.
You're gonna go down there?
I'm not.
That's the greatest
Schwa.
single line. That is the greatest single line in this game so far. I take out the bag of rubies and hand it to Schwa. There's like, what could possibly go wrong with
Now's
that?
our chance to get out of here and split these rupees.
Best plan we have had.
Oh my goodness. Maybe I should switch and hand it to our tag.
So let us have them now. You see what you have done.
I mean, we're not going to let a little children die. Jeez. Okay.
Give me the rupees.
No. Fuck you, pal. Fuck you, pal.
This
Fuck
is
you,
ridiculous that we're even caring about these people.
I'm already riding off to follow Arik. As far as I'm concerned, I've still got a job to do. I've been paid to do a job.
Right.
Okay, are
we're
you
going
trying to
toward
be
them.
stealthy, Artigan, or are you just riding down like in response to the arrow shaft in the boy's calf? Like, are you making your presence fully known now that
No,
Are you-
because I can tell it's a gun. I can tell it's the equivalent of a drive-by, basically. Get down there, volley of arrows. We turn into porcupines and hedgehogs.
Mhm.
So I'm going to try and follow Arik.
Okay. You can use a fortune roll here, or you may use go ahead and roll stealth. You will need 3 successes, though, as you are not a horseman and you are trying to follow in the same manner.
No, because my stuff is absolutely crap, but I have been riding horses for the past 20-odd years, and I do actually have a mule for myself. So I know how to ride. Let's say that fortune is going to guide my way.
So with the fortune roll, you are able to mimic what Arik did. Maybe not as stylish, but definitely with the same type of ability. And Arik, you see the old swordsman kind of coming down, his heavy armor eerily silent in this descent from the higher level. What's everybody else doing as Artigan, you are now with Arik, relatively close to him, as you're both kind of in that easterly right-hand side forest looking north.
Are they on the... So they're on the east side of the road. The family's on the west side of the road down in the field.
Correct.
Cool. Just from how the arrow is positioned, if we can see, where does it look like? It looked like it came from the opposite side.
Correct. It almost directly opposite of where Arik is.
That's so... Someone's gotta go down. Ranged. Schwa?
Schwa is ready if you are. Okay, so Schwa is going to now stand up on the top of his horse and holding the reins with one hand and his spear above his head in the other.
Wait.
He's in full, I'm going to go in distract mode. And he's going to take his horse and just bullet towards the prisoners.
He is so ready. We were not ready.
Yelling a war cry while he waves his spear because he has defeated and slain a bear single-handedly, you see. And he is feeling like really full of schwa right now.
They say you're never supposed to go full schwa. I argue that fact. I think
He is
full
one-
schwa is acceptable.
He is one
Okay.
crazy little fucker.
So
So I'm
schwa is
prepared
charging.
I'm going to go in with the attempt of expecting some arrows to be coming at me. So I'm going to try to put the horse between the arrow, between the archers and the prisoners. And at any sign of arrows coming in my direction, I'm going to make a flying acrobatics leap off the horse to safety. That's my plan, at least.
Okay, keep that queued up. So as Schwa goes down, spear spinning in the air as he is screaming his barbaric Schwa across everything, Arik and Artigan probably have the best view of this as you see the rise and fall and the descent of Schwa as he rockets towards the prisoners. Pal, what are you doing?
Pal's going to try. Is there any way for him to get down and get behind where the arrow was shot?
Yeah, roll stealth for me. Senna, what are you doing?
I guess I'm going to. Is there like it's kind of rocky going down toward the field, like where
Yes.
Pal is?
He's going to
Yes.
use Living Shadow, of course.
Yep.
I think I'll maybe
3M momentum.
Nice.
That'll match.
Yeah, I
the
think I'll
momentum
go down to his previous location. Just keeping down, but I need to get a closer look so I can try to spot these guys.
Okay, so as you're creeping down, Senna, kind of using the rocks as potential like sniper nests. Is that what
Yeah.
you're trying to do? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
As you're creeping down, Senna, you hear from off to your left, which would be the west, in just the woods, down by this wash. So, you finally come back to me. And it is the voice of Karis. And that is where we will end this episode of Conan, Age Undreamed Of.
Oh.
Yay!
That's gonna make a great launch off for the next episode.
So, yeah, folks, here's what happens when you destroy a bear encounter. The GM uses 2 Doom and brings another bear.
Yes. Yes.
There was always going to be 2 bears. I was toying with 3, but I thought two is enough. So.
I mean, if you want, I mean, sure.
You have enough doom
Many
for-
definitions of bears.
Right. Okay, so absolutely. Let's go around and talk to everybody, see how you did, see where you'll be, and everybody check their links in chat. Let's start again with Cap. Cap, how are you? And welcome back.
Thanks very much. Yeah, that was interesting. That was unbelievable, and it was a hell of a lot of fun. So thank you very much. That was great. I'm Capricorn Cross, all one word. Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. You can all find me there. This Sunday, 7:30 p.m. UK time, I have my own West Marches style D&D 5e show called The Chronicles of Cascardus. We will be opening up the 5th Chronicle, 3-part story, beginning this Sunday at 7:30 p.m. And then next Wednesday at 6 p.m. British Summer Time, also that's 1 p.m. Eastern, I'm hosting In the lore of that world, in the history of that world, there was a very important war of gods, devils, and demons. Well, there's going to be a level 20 one-shot next Wednesday at that time, where a few players are going to fight in that decisive battle. And I can tell you right now that Greg's going to be involved, Jim's going to be involved, Lauren's going to be involved. It's going to be a cluster cluck, and it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. So thank you very much, and see you next time.
Absolutely, yes. And to mirror that, join us next Wednesday when we kill each other, kill everything that Cap puts in front of us, because we're level 20 and we are gods. We cannot be killed. Lauren, how are you doing?
I'm fine. What's up? It's going good over here. Killed some bears. That was fun. Fuck. I'm super excited for next week. It's gonna be a blast. I really love this system a lot. Yeah, so you can find me over on Twitter at That'sWhatTheGinger. The rest of the weekend tonight, me and Greg are over on Arvin Elleron's channel playing some Wilderness Mirrors 60s spy action. That's at 8:30 Eastern. Tomorrow night's the finale of Valley of Soot and Skull over on the Grey Hawk channel by Greg GM. It's really good. That's at 9 p.m. Eastern. And I think we're off Project Athena this week, so then the next time you can find me will be Wednesday on Cap's channel for that level 20 showdown. I'm super excited about it. In case you haven't heard, I love bards.
This just in, wait a minute. This just in, right. Let's go over to Steve. Steve, how are you doing?
Great.
How's Pal?
He is not probably, he probably is confused on why he's here. This is definitely, once again, he's out in the woods, he's on a beach. It's like, he's not really in his elements, but he is going to make the best of it and to see what he can get from this. He's not really worried about the people that are hostages. He's probably more worried about the money. And, but I've had a blast. Everybody was great. Follow all of them. You can catch me on your channel on Project Athena, and I will see you next week, buddy.
Awesome, brother. As we zip up to Slack. Slack, how are you doing, my friend? And the mighty Schwa with his ride.
So much fun. Courting death with Schwa. Having a blast, and I'm honored to be playing with such an awesome group. You guys are a blast. Thank you. So anyway, my name is Mark Slack. You can call me Slack. You can see me on the twits at Actual Slack. And please check out the podcast that I DM for Encounter Roleplay. It's called Dice Tribe. And we're working on a brand new chapter coming your way real soon. So hope to see you there.
Awesome. Let's jump up to Jim. Jim, how are you doing? And what did you think of today's session, my friend?
Doing great. Love to see the team in action and everybody just ripping through these bears and hopefully some Aquilonia nights later on. So and not the other way around, but we'll see. I'm eager to see what like big knockdown drag out kind of fight looks like in this. Maybe we'll get that, maybe we won't. I am one half of WebDM. You can come check me out on Twitter at @TheRealJimDavis, and of course YouTube on Wednesdays where we have shows and whatnot. And then we have our own Twitch channel, WebDM Tuesdays, Starward Bound with Pruitt. Greg's in that. Thursdays, Lay Between Two Rivers, sort of Mad Max meets Saturday morning cartoons meets D&D style campaign. And of course Sundays on RPG. And I'm around all over the place. Come and talk to me. I love talking about RPGs, Dungeons and Dragons, all that other kind of stuff. Great game. Love playing with you guys. Can't wait till next time.
Awesome, brother. And I will replay everybody's. Go follow everyone. They're great people. To answer slightly what Jim had said, a knockdown drag out, you say? Yeah. I've been wanting to do one of those too. So everybody buckle up because next week is going to be a humdinger. And as we've got
built my character for.
Right. As we've got Schwa charging, as we've got a mounted Artigan and a mounted Arik, and as we've got Pal creeping through the shadows in the background, and as Cinna is up in her sniper's nest, this is the elements where everybody excels at. Schwa is just straight nuts. So let's just see how that plays out in 2D20 Modifius fashion. Can't wait. Everybody, please stick around. I'm going to stop the stream briefly. We are going to jump back on as we have Firefly, Tales from the Big Damn Verse, starting here in about 15 minutes. Great cast coming up for that. Great cast we've already had here. Tomorrow at 2 o'clock, we have Pulp Cthulhu's Project Kronos as we bear down towards the end of the season in that one as well. And as Lauren mentioned, tonight over on Arvin Elrond's channel, you can see me in the 60 Spy thriller. It starts at 8:30 Eastern, and then tomorrow night over on Greyhawk for the finale of the Valley of Soot and Skull, a really cool throwback Arthurian 5e original D&D type of adventure that I've had a lot of fun playing. But until next week, everybody, make sure that you join us here for the conclusion of Where the West Wind Reigns, and we will see exactly what happens to these wonderful thieves. But until then, everybody, we bid you a fond adieu, and we will be back in seconds for Firefly.